This is the new Mini, and this is a measuring stick. Measuring stick showing about 80 centimeters. 80 centimeters is how much this car is bigger from Sir Alec Istigony's original Mini. So the original Mini started around here, ended around here actually, counting from the front. The first generation BMW Mini was somewhere around here, second generation somewhere around there, and probably the 11th generation Mini, if we live that long, will end somewhere around there. Well, you see where I'm going with this.
And there goes the weather. Of course, longer also means that other dimensions have increased to maintain the classic proportions. As a result, everything is new, and I like it.
Let's start with the engine. In the Cooper version, it's a 3-cylinder 136 horsepower turbocharged engine, and to make things more interesting, more powerful version of this engine powers the BMW i8 supercar.
Then we have the boot, in which, after removing the double floor, there's 211 liters, over 50 more than in the previous generation. However, there is more boot space not just in a Toyota Yaris, but also in the Hyundai i10.
Okay, so Mini was never very good when it comes to space in the back, but I've got enough of space for my feet with the seat set for my driving position. I've got just about enough leg room and plenty of headroom. There are three cup holders here, but there is no space for the third person to sit in the middle here. And now, if you excuse me, I have to get out with whatever dignity remains. Oh, jeez. In the front, on the other hand, there's plenty of leg room, headroom. I usually like to sit low, but in this car I had to pump the seat up a couple of notches to actually see anything outside. The steering, you can adjust it. It's got rake and reach adjustment, so even the tallest drivers should have no problem finding a comfortable driving position here. What I am concerned about is the lack of lumbar support adjustment.
At first glance, the dashboard looks the same, but it is in fact different. The speedo moved from the center to in front of the driver. There is a traditional rev counter on one side and the fuel gauge on the other. The infotainment system remains in the middle. Of course, you have to pay for sat-nav, but you don't want a traditional radio here, do you? Around the dial, there is a kind of halo which can show your revs, driving style, or parking sensor signals. There is also the new touch panel iDrive from BMW. The light switch is also like from BMW. Power window switches are finally on the doors where they belong, and there's a large engine start button under the center display.
But before I press it, a few words about what's not very good in the Mini. Let's start with the key here. Now, the Mini key fob, whatever you want to call it, was always pretty big. This one is even thicker, so when you put it in your jeans pocket, it's gonna stick out, especially if you like skinny jeans. This car has no keyless entry, so you have to take it out every time to open it. You have to take it out of your pocket, of your purse if you're a woman, whatever. You have to take it out, get in, and then now the old Mini had an ignition here. Now this car doesn't have any sort of ignition slot, not even a fake one, so where to put the key? Either I can put it back in my pocket, which is not very convenient, or in my purse, and then I have to look for it, or I can put it here in the place that's reserved for your MP3 player or your mobile phone. But you say it's not allowed to put your mobile phone here. There's a special place for the mobile phone, and it's here in the armrest. Yes, that's right. But the armrest, well, it touches the handbrake, so I have to raise it. If I raise it, it's not very comfortable here. It's also not very comfortable to use the iDrive or whatever it's called in the Mini when you have the armrest down. So you have to put the armrest up, and there goes your phone. So when you stop, you see where I'm going with this. Oh, and one more thing. this little glove box in front of the passenger, the upper glove box, really mini? Really? Is this the quality I'm paying at least 20,000 euros for? Really? But it takes only a few minutes on the road for you to forget about all that. Mini starts in normal mode, but you can switch it into sport mode or green mode using this ring around the gear shifter. Even with the 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, Mini feels fast enough. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.9 seconds, which is Mazda MX-5 time. However, Mini has more torque than the Mazda, so it feels faster. It's more flexible. The gear shift, it's brilliant. The throw is short and the gears engage with this pleasant click.
Oh, and it does automatic rev matching.
Despite it being electrically assisted, the steering gives you great feedback. The last time I had so much fun behind the wheel was in a Ford Fiesta ST. The Mini is also very well balanced. It's neutral to drive. And the suspension, well, Mini keeps going on about this go-kart-like handling. Well, this car may be agile, but the suspension feels much more sophisticated. It's like driving a BMW when you go over a pothole. There is none of this thump after which all your tooth fillings would fall out. This is not a go-kart. This is a grown-up car dressed as a Mini. If I were to complain about something, it would be the A-pillars. They're thick and they limit your visibility. And the fuel consumption, it's nowhere close to what Mini promises. Now, Mini claims this car will do 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers in the combined cycle. No. I managed to get the fuel consumption down to around 7 liters per 100 kilometers in the combined cycle. And in the urban cycle, if you manage anything below 8, you're my master. But otherwise, I want to drive this car. I want to drive this car a lot, and I want to drive it fast. And I don't want to give it back, ever, ever. Ah, brilliant. The new Mini is bigger than its predecessor, obviously. It's got more tech and it's way more comfortable. However, before you spend 25 grand on a car, check out the new Volkswagen Beetle, the Beetle or whatever it's called, and the new Mazda 6 station wagon, which incidentally costs as much as this car. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I think the link is somewhere around there. New reviews every Friday. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram. You'll find all the links in the description below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.